Hi, everybody. This is Debbie Neely, founder of 2911 Group. It's so good to see you all. We are here today to do another episode, is what I'm going to call them, of our love series. I just like even just saying that, the love series. And it's all around loving yourself, loving others, and loving God. And I'm really excited about our guest today, Miss Ariel Bretter. Hi, Ariel.
Hi, Debbie. Thanks for having me today.
Sure. So I was trying to remember how long ago it was that I met you, Ariel, and it's been a little while, probably
I
longer than I
know,
realized.
right? Yeah, it's like time has flown, but it's been a while now.
Yeah, and we actually met because you wanted to know more about 2911 Group, which I love.
Yes.
And when I met Ariel, I was very caught by just you have this calmness about you, like this vibe that people can trust you, and that you're just gonna bring out the best in them, and that everything's gonna be okay. Which is
Thank
what I
you.
think makes you a great coach, right?
Thank
As
you.
well. Yeah. So Ariel and I got to work together a little bit. I was laughing the other day because I'm like, well, we also acted in some videos, which
Yeah.
we won't talk about, right?
We have quite the acting career together.
We did. I thought we were very
Yes.
good. So, what I'm really impressed by with Ariel is not just who she is, but also what she's putting out into the world now. And that's why I wanted to have you on because this is the perfect topic for you. Ariel has a whole venture now, and it's called, this is going to be my actress in it, right? It's Beautiful Chick. So, not it's beautiful. That's how it's spelled, which I love. And Beautiful Chick focuses on blogs, podcasts. She has coaching services that she offers. And it's really around living your best and beautiful life out there. So, very exciting, very exciting. And you've been doing it for a little while now. You're getting all this momentum. So, what else should we know about Beautiful Chick, Ariel?
Thanks. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. I never thought, when I started it, it would turn into what it's turned into. Like, yeah, it started off as a blog. I just thought it would be fun to have the name Be Beautiful Chick because I was just like, I want people to be themselves. And I think that when you're yourself, like that's when you're truly beautiful. So it started off as that. And then I got into coaching and now I have a podcast. The podcast is called It's Time to Be You, and it's helping people pleasers take control of their lives and finally put themselves first. So yes, everything I do, I want people to live their best lives, and I think that all starts from being themselves.
That's awesome. So everyone check her out. And when I thought of our topic today, really focusing on that loving yourself piece, and right on her website, it's all about becoming your best self. So you kind of talked about this a little bit, but tell us a little bit more about how did Beautiful Chick become your mission?
Yeah, so I love that you asked that question because it kind of made me think back a little bit of where it all began. And I think it really began when I had started my Mary Kay business as a Mary Kay consultant, and I had just really gotten the chance to be around some like beautiful, amazing, confident women. But then when I started hearing their stories, it all came from them having stories of feeling unbeautiful and unworthy and like not very confident and lack of belief, but they have, built themselves up. So hearing their stories is kind of like what made me start my own self development journey. And I also really felt like I wasn't alone because, I had dealt with feelings of being like not beautiful and just like not confident and not happy with myself. But I was just like, well, if these women can do it and if they felt that way about themselves, like I know I can. And then I like dove into the self-help industry and just like read a bunch of books and loved it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like everyone needs to hear these good things about like how possible it is to just work on your mindset, and that you can work on your beliefs, and whatever that you believe is what you can achieve. And like that was just it just opened up so much for me that I wanted to share it with people because I wanted people to not feel alone, because I just know that when I felt like, oh, I'm not alone, it just made a lot of things that I dealt with like less painful, and just being like more vulnerable helped me to like release what I was going through, which then actually made me, a little bit happier rather than like I've dealt with a lot of anxiety and depression, and I still deal with that, but now I know how to manage it more. So I just really wanted to put it out there, like you're not alone and that you can keep going. And I just wanted people to actually feel like, yes, you are beautiful. And especially, being a Mary Kay consultant and working with women, like helping them with their skincare and makeup, like, yes, that helps to enhance your beauty, but like, that's not what makes you beautiful. Like, you're beautiful as you are, and it comes from the inside. So I just wanted to create a space to, share that message with people. So that's kind of where it came from and where everything started.
Wow, what a great message. I love that you're using your vulnerability as a gift to other people. And kudos to you, because that's not easy. It's not easy to share our vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I love that you just said it's possible, right? Like no matter how you're feeling, it's possible to switch things up, to change things, to not feel that way.
Exactly.
So you share on your website, I'm going to quote you, okay? It says, becoming your best self is an ongoing process. So will you share with us maybe what tips you've learned from your own experiences, or maybe even from some of your fabulous guests that you've had on your podcast?
Yeah, and it's funny because when I started, learning more about myself and how to like build confidence and stuff like that, like I thought it would be kind of like, all right, I figured it out, good to go now forever. But I've realized that that's not the case, unfortunately. Like we're always changing and growing and going through different circumstances that life throws at us. And it's hard, but it's like we're gonna continue to work through those challenges, and like that's why it's just an ongoing process. And kind of along with that of like, we always talk about like getting out of your comfort zone, and like it feels so safe to be in your comfort zone, but you've got to like stretch your comfort zone. And that's another thing I thought, like, oh, I'm just gonna hop out of my comfort zone and then like life will be figured out. But unfortunately it's not that easy, because you stretch your comfort zone a little bit, but then like the next challenge happens or the next goal happens that you want to achieve or work through. And that's why you just kind of have to keep working on it. And like along with that, I really like to celebrate like small wins. I think that makes it easier to see, like rather than like looking at this like big goal that you have, to break it down. And that way it makes it seem like more doable and achievable. And then once you know, are able to like check off like a small step on your list to getting there, that it like helps build your confidence. And you just take like more pride in what you're doing, and then you realize you're doing it more for yourself rather than other people. So that's just kind of what it means, of like it's an ongoing journey. And like I wish it was just like, oh, you reached your you crossed the finish line, but things are going to just keep happening. But I've also found that once you go through these challenges or stretch your comfort zone, like those things are tough in the moment, but once you overcome that, it's like so much better on the other side. And then it's also like, oh, that wasn't as bad or as scary as I thought. And it's way better to take that like moment of like discomfort rather than like living a life of like, you think it's your comfort zone, but really it's not, because you're so worried about like, what if I did do it, or what would happen if I did do it? Like, just take the leap and do it and see what happens, and just keep learning and growing, and see where life takes you.
Well, I love that. Take the leap. That's a great mantra, right? For people to have. Take the leap. Yeah, I used to have a quote taped to my desk that said, "Change is hard." I'm not going to get it right. Change is hard. Growth is optional. Choose wisely. That's what it was. And I'm like, yeah, it's just a reminder that it's your choice, right?
Right.
Take the leap. But once you do, you got growth. Growth is what you see.
Exactly. And then like no matter what, like where you are could be hard, and making a change could be hard, but it's always like choose your hard. Would you rather try something new and really enjoy it, or live that, just stay in that hard moment where you could just learn and grow and do something else?
Choose your heart. I like that.
Yeah.
You're giving me all these quotes now.
I love quotes.
Write them all down. All right. Well, I have to say, I mean, you and I talk a lot about this message has been important in it. And,
Yeah.
over the years, we've seen lots of people, not just women, but people struggle with this, the confidence and the self-esteem and taking the leap and the fear and all of those things. But it really feels like right now, this message is more important than ever. Just with everything that's been happening, some things that we're seeing in the news around young women committing suicide and that type of thing. So it just feels like more and more important. Why do you think it is that young women don't see their gifts and talents?
I think it's because, I mean, with social media, it's so easy to see people's like highlight reels of their life. And even though I feel like that term gets thrown around and we know that we're seeing people's highlight reels, sometimes it's hard to forget, or it's easy to forget that. And we see it at a moment of like, oh, like what they have is so much better than what I have, or, like they look prettier than me, or they're, doing this fun thing. I'll never be able to do that, or whatever it is. Like we compare ourselves. And I actually, you said that, earlier before we were talking that the other video was about comparison is the thief of joy, and I'm just like, that's what I wanted to bring up, is because it's so true. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I think that because of social media, we look at other people and it's so easy to compare our life against theirs. And what I really want people to know is that, like, you can't compare someone else's journey. Like, everyone is on their own journey, and we all have different gifts and talents for a reason. Like, we were created the way that we were meant to be, and we need to like honor that and own that. And I think another thing to remember with that is like, I think a lot of times people see someone else, something that someone else is doing and want that, or they think they want that. They don't truly want that. Like, you might see someone on like going hiking and you're like, oh, I wish I was hiking. But then you're like, do I really wish I was hiking? Like, no, that's not my lifestyle. So I think it's really important to like get clear on like what our values are and what we like really truly want and desire, and what our true gifts and talents are, so that we can actually like lean into that and use that as it was meant to be used, rather than thinking, that you're not as good as somebody else. And it's such a shame that it's easy to fall into that trap of comparing and not thinking that your gift is as important as someone else's gifts. Like, we all have different gifts for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. I think of that quote. We're all about the quotes today, Ariel.
Yes.
But that quote that's like, why would you want to work so hard to fit in when you were meant to stand out, right? And
Yes.
really living your authentic life. I think, I don't know. I know when I was young, I don't feel like I was living my authentic life. That has come. I've grown into that of,
Yeah.
I'm different and that's okay. And I'm going to be authentic to me and what's important to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do think it's a struggle, especially when we're younger. And that's one of the things that I want, is I want more people to find out who they truly are, like at a younger age, because I feel like we are always trying to fit in because we don't want to seem like, not part of the group, or we're worried about what other people think if we like truly let them know like what we think is cool. Like, what if they don't think it is? Are they still gonna like me? Or, I was talking to someone earlier actually on my podcast about that fear comes out of like our fear of rejection, because we all just want to feel like belonged. And but when you're with the people that you're really supposed to be with, like, they're not going to reject you for being who you truly are. And yes, it may be hard if like as you're becoming your more authentic self, that like some of the people around you may not get it or support you or whatever. But in all honesty, like, you don't want those people in your life. You want people in your life that like love you for who you are. And it might be scary of like, well, if I don't have those people, who's going to be there? Like, the right people will come. Like, the more that you open up on who you're supposed to be, then like those other people that are like really also like, you know, digging your vibe, like, they're going to come and they're going to show up. But if you are holding on to something that's not meant for you, like, you don't have room for what is actually meant for you.
Yeah. So everyone out there, trust me and Ariel when we tell you that if someone's not accepting you for who you are, those are not your people.
Yes.
Right. And God will put the right people in place for you.
Exactly.
Right. It's trusting that. So I feel like you've already given us a lot of advice, but what advice would you give either young women or those of us who support young women?
You know, my advice, I think, always comes down to like giving yourself grace and other people grace. I mean, everyone is always just trying to do the best that they can do, and you never know what someone is going through. I think so many times, a lot of us are holding in something, even like the people that look so happy, like they are struggling too. So you never know what anyone's going through. So to just always be kind and give each other grace. And then, I talk about being your best self. And, at first, when I first thought of like being your best self, like creates your best life, I still truly believe that like it all starts from within. But I, at first, was kind of going in at more of the motion of like, you got to always work on yourself every day and like push through and whatever. But your best also looks different every day. And I think we need to, just remember that and understand that like your best one day might be doing all the things, checking off everything off your to-do list, feeling accomplished. And then the next day your best might look like I need a nap and I'm going to rest and I'm going to like disconnect from the world. Like that's also your best because you're taking care of yourself. So I guess I just want people to remember like people are always trying their best, and it's okay if your best looks different day to day. Like you're still, as long as you're true to yourself and what you need, then you're doing your best.
That's great. So speaking of that, what other message would you like to leave with our audience today?
I think that would be to be yourself, and that we need you to be yourself, and that you are loved as you are, and that you don't need to try to be like anyone else, to be validated or worthy. And you were really created, exactly as you were for a reason. And like, that is so special. And it would be such a shame if you didn't use the gifts that you were given, because the world needs that. And the more that you are just yourself, like you are going to leave like a positive ripple effect on the world. So just be yourself and everything else comes together. We need that. We need you.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And have fun discovering what your gifts and talents are, right? That's part of the fun.
Yes. I mean, that goes back to like life is a journey, and being your best self is a process, because what you think might be the right course of action, it may not be like the end all be all, and that's okay. Like it's all about figuring it out and enjoying the process, and not just worrying about crossing the finish line, because I think before that's what I always thought of, like, oh, once I achieve this or once I get that, like that's when I'm successful, or that's what's important. But no, it's every day that you're just working on yourself and enjoying your life and enjoying the moments. Like that's what matters.
Yeah, those small wins add up to the big wins, right?
Yes.
Well, Ariel, as always, you're such a pleasure, like a ray of sunshine. So I appreciate you being a guest in our video series today. Thank you. Make sure, audience, that you check out Ariel and Beautiful Chick out there, her website. She's on social media, so check all that out. In 2011 group, also, we have more videos on YouTube. We're also on social media. We have Facebook and Instagram. So follow us and check us out there as well. And don't forget that 2911 loves you.